Alright, let's talk about the Hunter Prismatic. This is kind of the sad truth of what's going on with Hunters right now. So we just start with the supers. So we've got this new Storm's Edge thing, which honestly is not as good as people want it to be. I thought it'd be a lot better. Personally, simple as this, it's trash. You can easily avoid it if you just jump straight up. Yes, there are times when it tracks you and stuff and its connection and it's fucked. Yes, that's times. But 90% of the time, if you time it right and you get good at timing it, you can just over jump it. You just jump up, it misses you completely. The only time it really doesn't work is when it hits you, sorry, if it hits you directly, but even then, a lot of times you can still juke it. It's very inconsistent, it's very shit. It's great for wells and bubbles, but sadly nobody really pops wells and bubbles anymore, so kinda trash. Silence and Squall, good super, but also still really trash. The reality is, this thing, we need more stasis abilities. We need more stasis abilities and different ones. It's a good super, but sometimes it just straight up, go through a wall. You'll throw it at an enemy, the thing will hit the wall, and it'll get stuck on the wall. Like, it's shit, okay? It's shit. You see people use it, I even use it here and there, but as a whole, if you go into trials, this thing is never used. It's either Goldie, or Storm's Edge, or Silk Strike. And Goldie is not bad, okay? It's not a bad super by any means, but it does still suck compared to all the other supers, because this thing can be shut down by 3 hand cannon shots. Like, it's so fucking easy. Like, this thing's a joke of a super. It really is. Out of all the roaming supers that exist, I don't know why this one is so shit on damage resist still. I get it has a lot of range, but all I have to do is dial the range down a bit and it'd be fine. So, because there's plenty of them that do really good, so Bungie for you, what's new? But, then we have Tether, which is a joke in PvP. In PvE, yeah, it's good in PvE, but except, still nobody uses it in PvE. Everyone would rather use Goldie with Celestial for damage. Like, if you're doing an ad clear thing, yeah, maybe. But again and again, this can work great for ad clear, this can work great for ad clear even. Hell, this can work great for ad clear. So, Tether is kind of just trash, in my opinion. Like, people only really use Tether, like, from all the activities I've done, from raids, dungeons, everything. Tether is just basically non-existent anymore. There are times when it's useful, but as a whole, it's basically never used. Because there's no need to. There's other options that are just as good as ad clearing and stuff now. From weapons to abilities, it's just pointless. It really needs some sort of buff, a finesse of some sort that makes it worth a shit. I don't know what that is, truthfully, but it needs something. And then there's Silk Strike, which is a good PvP thing. It's okay in PvE. It can be good in PvE. It really just depends on the situation. But personally, I love it. I still think it's one of the best supers in the game for Hunter by far. It's just so consistent, so easy to use. It's forgiving. It just sucks because you don't get the 2 grapples. Whereas in the normal one, you get 2 grapples, which in my opinion is worth way more than anything to do with Prismatic. The reason I personally use Prismatic is because I like using the new things. I've done this with Strand, I did this with Stasis. Anytime they add new stuff, I always do the new stuff pretty much only for that year. It's just kind of how I play. I enjoy using them. I want to play with them, see what they do. Hopefully they're planning to do more of these over the next couple seasons or episodes, because if they don't add any more aspects, I'm going to be upset. I don't know if they're going to add brand new ones or they're going to add other ones from other things, but the Hunter needs some loving, okay? There's a reason what was meta. So then we go to the grenades, or this melee, sorry. Melees are all pretty decent, except for the knife trick. This thing is a joke. I don't know what they did to it, but it is trash now. It is so fucking trash. This thing was broken as hell. I get they needed to nerf it because it was secretly broken, and a lot of people didn't know about it, and a lot of people didn't use it previous Prismatic, but it is trash. I don't know if it's on Solar as well, or just on Prismatic, but it is trash now. This thing has always been a meme. It either works or it doesn't. It's a 50-50 shot, so that's why barely anyone uses it. This melee is decent, but it's going to get a nerf soon, so it's going to be absolute trash. And yeah, it's going to be trash. That nerf is huge. It's a absolute trash. It's going to become trash. Then we have this melee, which is nice. It's enjoyable. But you've got the smoke, which is a lot better. Hence why everyone uses smoke. This melee is great, but when you have a smoke that's so broken, it just stops people in their tracks. Well, everyone... No one ever stops for me, but, whatever. It's great. But then we have Swarm Grenade. The reason Swarm Grenade was so broken on Hunter wasn't because of how dominantly good it was. Because it was good, yes, but the reason all Hunters used it was because of this dog shit. Grapple. Okay, grapple's fine. Grapple melee can be iffy, but in this meta, because it's just nade and ability spam, you don't want to use that. You want to use an actual grenade. Grapple grenade ain't bad. It's still useful. I still use it here and there, and a lot of people still do. But if I'm going to use it, I'd prefer just to use it on fucking actual on the actual subclass than on here, because I just feel like it beats the purpose. It doesn't have anything that really helps with it, whereas the Hunter's Silk Strike super, like actual strand abilities and stuff, you can do the suspend afterwards and stuff, and it combos really well. So I feel like it's better. So then we have the Magnetic Grenade, which is a decent grenade, except for the fact it won't one-tap somebody. If they're at max resil, or I think it's like 7 resil, if you throw it on somebody, even if you shoot 1 bullet of a hand cannon, they will survive most of the time. And that blows my mind. It takes more than 1 shot of hand cannon to kill them with this. The best option is you shoot them a couple times and then throw it. But the problem is, the tracking on it is so fucked. It either tracks really well, or it doesn't track at all, and it just yeets forward and doesn't hit anything. I don't know why that is, but that's how it is. Its damage is minusculely trash. The Arc Bolt is a joke of a grenade. Nobody fucking uses this. There's a few people that do, but as a whole, it's a joke. If you talk to any professional people, if they're going to use it, the reason they use it is they put jolts with it. And that's it. Because the jolt helps with it. But other than that, it's trash. It's a joke of a grenade. Then we have dust field grenades. What in the fuck are we supposed to do with dust field grenades? These things are only good if you use the armor piece, the exotic armor piece. Them by themselves are trash. Yeah, you could use the prismatic fucking class item, but no one really does for this. They use it for other things, the other meta shit, which is Symphoseps and fucking Ophidians. That's 90% of them right off the bat, and a couple other combos, but nobody uses this thing. Which I think would be smart if people did use it, but at the same time, why bother when you've got other things, right? Like, I get it. There's better options in the slot, by far. So it's just a joke of a grenade. Yeah, it comes in handy once in a blue moon, but most of the time they see you have this and they just avoid it. Like, they're able to know where you're going to throw it. For the most part, people are pretty smart. Even the lesser skilled, really lower tier players figure it out pretty quick that this is deadly if somebody's using it. Just don't fucking go for corners constantly. You know, play it out, let them bait shoot it out, you know. It's pretty simple. Fragments don't really matter. I have a lot to pick with the fragments, but we're not going to go on that. We're going to go on to the next thing, is this a grenade. They are changing this grenade, which is nice, but they're making it where it's tracking so you can unicorn people. If you don't know, get what that means, you throw it on their head or you throw it on them directly so it deals damage. I think that's cool. But at the same time, this grenade sucks. Like, the Titan one with the suspend and stuff is cool. This one just completely sucks for the most part. It rarely hits, and when it does hit, half the time they just walk through it still. Because the slow doesn't seem to actually slow them fully. It, like, prevents them from doing certain things, but it doesn't seem to stop their momentum even slightly. So that just sucks right off the bat. The Scorch literally is pointless. You literally will freeze someone and the Scorch will go off and they will literally unfreeze because it doesn't shatter the Scorch. Which could be a bug or it could be some space magic, but overall, I've never had it where it'll freeze. I've had it freeze like 3 people ever. And then they'll be frozen in the shockwave of the Scorch and they don't die. They just take more damage and it doesn't shatter them. It doesn't do enough damage, I guess, to shatter. I don't fucking know. I really don't know. If somebody's had this thing shatter, let me know. Because it's so fucking hard to make this thing actually do anything. And half the time you kill him before it does anything anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But it feels pointless. The Warlock one literally pulls you in. The Titan one suspends you. This one slows you, but it doesn't last long at all. And it fucking just goes away. Hell, I think the Warlock one lasts like twice as long nearly. Like, it lasts fucking forever when they throw it out. This thing just goes away so quick. And it can be shot, whereas the other two can't be shot. So that just instantly gives this thing a disadvantage. The fact you can throw it on a wall and someone can just shoot it off instantly makes it pointless. Makes it a completely pointless grenade. This is why trip mines aren't really used much other than to throw, like, when you're weak. They'll throw it so it'll detonate instantly. It's the same reason why void walls have stopped being used. Or not void walls, sorry, void spikes have stopped being used. It's because they're just not that good at grenades because they can be shot so easily. Even if you're standing in it and they throw it on you, you can just shoot off the wall real quick before you go back to the fight. They're only good for situations when someone's absolute. The slow does help. You can throw it on somebody and make it where they slow and then they can't ape you, but for some reason Titans also don't seem to be affected by it because they can melee lunge through it still, even though everyone else can't. So Titans in a nutshell for you. So it's just a trash grenade. In my opinion, it's a trash grenade. In PvE, it's even worse because there's no situation where it actually works. If you throw it directly on an enemy, when they die, it just drops on the ground and nothing else gets tagged by it. It's like, it's only a few situations where you can throw it on a door and it'll kill the odds when they run out the door. And that's it. Which, there are way fewer of those than there should be, so it's kind of just pointless. I don't personally think it's worth using. PvP or PvE. Then we have this stuff. Then we have the aspects, which we're going to get into these. So the reason Threaded Spectre is used so much, right? Yeah, it's a good thing. It was a really good thing, and it still is a good thing. They did nerf it quite a bit now, and it's still decent, but it no longer takes your aggro of your shots, so you can easily shoot past it, which is so fucking annoying sometimes. You can do other things, like, it's not as good as it once was. The fact you can just shoot it and get rid of it, and it doesn't create threadlings as well, is just annoying. It should still create threadlings. I don't know why they think that's okay. Bungie for you, what's new? But, yeah. It's just, I don't get it. I really don't get what's going on with this meta system, because you have this, so you have this thing. This thing's kind of decent, but sadly, they got rid of its best quality perk, like the best perk it ever had, which was simply, well, the ability to see through walls, like, for a long distance. They nerfed the shit out of it. It's nowhere near what it used to be. It's still decent, but you don't really use it for the or for the see-through walls. You use it for the free invis when you get an ability kill, so that way people don't know exactly where you are, even though they always seem to, because it never seems to matter, but whatever. So then we have this, but then we have this thing, which is a fucking joke of an ability. PvE and PvP. It's a joke of an ability. Okay, like PvP, you can make a movement build with it if you use the grapple melee, and it's fun, it's enjoyable, but it's not practical. You get any good players or decent players, you're just gonna get shit on. It's a pointless thing. Sometimes you can get lucky and throw somebody's aim off by yeeting the fuck up in the air in the middle of a gunfight, and sometimes it works. Sometimes they're like, what the fuck, and you can outplay them. Very rarely, because nowadays everybody seems cracked. I mean, again, skill-based for you. But yeah. So it's just it's a gimmick. It's not useful, it's not actually practical, it's just a fucking gimmick. A trash gimmick, in the sense of other things that are gimmicks. Then you have the solar one, Gunpowder Gamble. I have never seen somebody use this in PvE or PvP. Like, the actual solar build, yeah, I see people use it once in a blue moon. Very rarely do I see people use it in the actual solar build. For PvE, very, very rarely. But in PvP, never. I've seen one person ever use it, and they got procced once, and then they got shit on for it. So, yeah, it's a pointless ability for an aspect. It's a waste. This should be a grenade type thing or something. Not an aspect, at least, or it should have more to it. It's so trash. In my opinion, it's so trash. And I know a lot of people agree, because if they didn't, they'd be using it, so unfortunate. Then we have the slow thing, which, again, Titans don't seem to be affected by slow in any format, because they always melee lunge through it. They're slowed, and they still melee lunge at ridiculous range, which makes no fucking sense to me, because everyone else gets slowed and gets fucked. Warlock sometimes, and Hunters never, but Titans always punch through, they don't care. So it's just a pointless thing, because the only reason you do it is to slow the person aping you. Which, now that they can shoot past the fucking, explosive thing, the, Threaded Spectre, because it doesn't grab their aggro anymore, Fame Assist, it doesn't do anything. You slowed them and do it so it detonate, but now it takes forever to detonate. It's hella delayed. It fucking doesn't even affect their aim. So now they can just shoot past. Yeah, the slow moves them slower, but, again, Titans can just melee lunge through you, so they don't care. And I don't get it. I don't get why Bungie thinks Hunters are so broken. I agree, Threat Spectre was a bit annoying, but it wasn't broken, where we have Titans able to run around and just punch you and get the ability to freeze constantly. We got them have the ability where they can literally suspend you with their shield and then fucking melee you behind their shield with the stupid arc melee, so that way you can't escape because you're screwed. There's nothing you can do about it. We've got fucking the ability for them to concentrate, where they can uppercut and slam, and it blows you the fuck to smithereens. Around corners, because its tracking is ridiculous now. It makes no fucking sense. They're about to have another broken build next season that's stupidly broken, with crystals and fucking concentration. Like, what in the fuck is going on? Their grenades are absolutely insane. They've got the fucking, I don't even know. Let me go real quick. We're gonna go to the Titan. We're gonna go to Titan and talk about how fucking dumb this is. Fuck me, dude. Let's go. Let's go talk about the Titan. So let's see what their grenades are. First off, we've got Crystal Glacier Grenade. One of the best grenades in the game for stasis. Like, by far. Cold Snap is great. Yeah, Cold Snap is great, but you need to build into it. Otherwise, it's not that great. It's really situational. Sometimes it does great, sometimes it does shit. Unless you build into it, then it's cracked. But Glacier Grenade's great for stopping people from rezzing, blocking off areas, grabbing heavy, all kinds. It's a second wall. It's literally a second wall. Then we have Suppressor Grenade, the most overpowered grenade if it's in the right hands, which a lot of people still surprisingly use. I say surprisingly because you think all these other grenades. We have Thermite Grenade, which is absolutely god tier for a grenade. This thing, they throw it down, you come around a corner, boom, it hits you before you even know what happens. There's half your health plus. Then we have Pulse Grenade, great for situations when they're weak and they're running away. You throw it at the ground, it explodes because it does a big shockwave damage and it kills them around the corner when they're trying to run away from you. Then you have Suspend. You throw it on a corner and it suspends them up and there's nothing they can do but sit there and look at you as you slowly destroy their soul. Then we've got Melees, the absolute fucking cracked melee I was talking about when you could go with this. Boom. Get this melee. Free kills. You've got this melee mixed with a Paragon or anything is super cracked, but even on its own is cracked. You got this thing that everyone's using right now, which is fucking annoying and cracked. You've got this one which allows for 3 consecrations, which is fucking cracked. You've got fucking Shield Throw, which, you know, is pretty shit. No one really uses it. I find it's fun in PvE. Most people don't, but I found it was really useful in PvE with a certain Exoticon, so personally I enjoyed it. Well, Prismatic Exoticon, but yeah, I enjoyed it. But yeah, so we've got freezes that easy to proc that are getting a buff. We've got fucking Consecration that's gonna get a buff because it can destroy crystals. They've got Dregner's Lash, which is just broken as hell, especially with the Exotic. Even without it's trash, or it's cracked, sorry. And then Unbreakable, yeah, Unbreakable's pretty trash. It is technically good, but it's such a skill problem, and I mean that because grenades are so fucking useful. It's really hard to sacrifice your grenade for this. It's really not fucking worth it. PvE, you can definitely make a build with it. If you run a high enough grenade thing or a combo to get your grenade back quickly, you can run this so you constantly have it, which I've done, so which is fun. And is actually pretty good with that, but that's about it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 broken ass aspects. Broken ass aspects. We've got all the grenades that are cracked as hell. We have all the melees but one that's cracked as hell. We've got 2 different shield types, which this one's kind of trash in everything. Nobody really uses it. But this is cracked in PvP and PvE. This is cracked in PvP and PvE. Then we've got supers. Absolutely cracked. Easy as fuck kills. Run around the entire map 3 times over with it. Killing people. Smashing, shattering, destroying. You got Hammer of fucking Soul that just it lasts fucking forever. You've got the new Twilight Arsenal that throws across the map, and they don't teleport with it. They just sit still. Yeah, easy target. You think, oh no, this thing's got the goddamn tracking of a fucking UAV. I know that doesn't make much sense to some people, but some people understand that maybe. This thing don't lose tracking ever. This motherfucker will hit you around corners. It'll suck you in and obliterate your health. Broken as hell. We've got the Blade Fury. This motherfucker can just spam melee infinitely and fucking teleport everywhere with the melee lunge because it's so much fucking lunge, especially if they use Synthoceps. It's fucking mind-blowing how cracked this thing is. It just lunges you everywhere. Then there's the uppercut that suspends you and there's nothing you can do about it. You're just stuck there. Then we have Thunder Crash, still one of the best used supers in the game other than Twilight Arsenal. These are the 2 most used supers in the game. This comes in 3rd place. These 2 tie for 4th place. They're both used a lot. I see these from Trials to PvP, normal PvP to Iron Banner. I see all of these supers all the time. I definitely see these 3 the most, but these 2 I see just as much. So you got Titans that are just stupidly cracked. Then we have the fucking Transcendence Grenade, which not only suspends you, it also jolts you, which flinches the shit out of your aim, but it suspends you so there's nothing you can do but stand there and look at it. It's like, oh, we'll just dodge it. Oh, wait, its fucking blast radius is stupid! I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but they can throw this so far away, and this bitch, I swear to you, will always find a way to suspend you. Through walls, around corners, it don't matter. This bitch wants you. It will get you. So, cracked. As a whole, cracked. Then we've got the Warlock. Let's go talk about the Warlock. Let's go talk about the Warlock. By the way, all those Titan supers are useful in PvE and PvP. I want to mention that, because I mentioned that on the Hunter, so we mentioned that as well. So let's get to the Warlock. Let's start with the aspects again. So we got Feed the Void, which is cracked as fucking PvE. Just absolutely mind-boggling good. PvP, it's decent, but most people only use it in PvE, but you do see people using PvP. Some of the better players use this in PvP still. You've got Helion, which is so broken right now. It's crazy. It literally takes 90% of your health with 1 hit sometimes. And other times, it takes half your health. It always takes a big chunk of your health no matter what. All it takes is 2 hand cannon shots, and this will 140 hand cannon shots, and this will finish you off every time. I've never had a problem with this not killing someone. Mind you, higher resilience, you can survive it. Just barely, but you can survive it. But you're scorched, so you won't heal, so you're screwed. Then you've got this teleporting fucking lunatic thing, which is so fucking annoying. Because now they're buffing it. They're making it better. What the fuck are you smoking, Bungie? You're making this even better now. Now if you go through a Titan shield, you're not going to take shit for damage. You're going to take 50% less damage, which already sometimes if you're going too fast, you take no damage or practically none. So, yeah, let's make this even more broken. Then we've got this thing, which people don't use, but you should use this. In PvP with Phoenix fucking Dive, this thing is cracked. When you're weak, and they're weak, you slam down around that corner, you gain your health back, they come running around to shotgun you, or even shoot you with a hand cannon, boom. They got a whole bunch of threadlings jumping them. It's absolutely clutch. PvE, I see it used a lot. I see PvP once in a while. So as a whole, pretty rare. Now, if people are using Rift in PvP, they use the fuck out of this. And then we have this, Bleak Watcher, which is the most broken PvE thing in the game. Some people use it in PvP, which is actually good in PvP as long as you put it in the right spots. If you know what you're doing, it's cracked. If you don't know what you're doing, well, you're not going to do shit with it, really. So it's not a huge nuisance, but it's a nuisance. But PvE, broken as fuck. Absolutely broken. Let's talk about the grenades. Most cracked fucking grenade in the game. Healing grenade. Fucking broken. Threadlings, absolutely cracked and useful. Cold Snap, absolutely broken as fuck. Lightnings, or Storm Grenade. Okay, Storm Grenade's kind of F. It's not horrible, but it's not really great either. Nobody really uses it. So fair enough. Then we have Vortex Grenade, which people do use. I've just spent all day today playing Iron Banner, and I've ran into this like fucking every game practically. 1 or 2 people using it. And getting kills with it, and because they're using it properly. So it's used. And then we have Rift, which is broken as fuck. Healing Rift, that just gives you your health back and constantly gives it back to you. Really cracked like. Hard to win a gunfight against it. We've got Empowering Rift that just makes you do so much fucking damage. It's ridiculous. You're not going to win the fight unless they're trash. Then you have Phoenix Dive, which heals you in a literal instant to basically max health. Gives you a huge chunk and fills you up the rest of the way within a second. So you have one tap around that corner, you go around that corner, they're full health, and you're still one tap because you have to heal. Not much you can do about it. Kind of screwed. Now let's go to the supers. Song of Flame. The most broken super in the game right now, Crucible-wise. On normal Solar, absolutely cracked because you can use the long-range melee, which is fucking broken as hell. And even this one with the snap, broken as hell. You can kill any super out of their super with one snap. I bet you didn't know that. Sometimes it doesn't, but as a whole, when I've done it, every super from Well, Bubble, fucking the Titan one, another one of these, fucking the Arc super, the teleports, fucking you name it. If you hit with this, it'll kill them. Hell, if it doesn't, that's why you always throw the grenade first. You throw the grenade, you snap, the nade will make sure they're weak enough to die to that snap no matter what. Because there is a resilience play. But it's cracked. It's absolutely fucking cracked. You can roam around a map 6 times with it on long maps. Literally, like, it's not literally. It's like 2 or 3 times you can get around a whole map, a big map, without running out. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, the Hunter one, the Arc one, which I didn't mention, goes away in 2 seconds. Like, that bitch is gone so quickly. Meanwhile, you got a Titan super that can map you at 1,000 meters and suck you in. You got a Warlock one that can chase you down and hunt you down. And if they use it on actual Solar, they can fucking obliterate you. Scary as fuck. Then we've got Nova Bomb, which is still the most cracked fucking one-tap super in the game. Like, this thing, for PvP, this thing is still used. Will always be used. It's the most used thing I see, other than Song of Flame. You have Needle Storm, which, you know, is a good super, but a lot of people don't use it. It's because it's a little bit inconsistent sometimes. There are times when you should die and it doesn't kill you, and there's times you definitely shouldn't have died and it does. It's a bit inconsistent, so only certain types of people use it. But it's still used. I still see the super all the fucking time in PvP and PvE. All the time. Especially now with the fucking exotic that came for the raid, the exotic linear. This is used a lot in PvE now because of that. Then you have Winter's Wrath. Absolute cracked of a super. Like, literally. Like, I said this is number 1. These I see all the time. No, this is the number 1 super, okay? I misspoke here. This is the number 1 super in the game. This thing is so over fucking used, it's ridiculous. These two together are the most overused. We're going to tie these for first place. These are first place, these are second place, and this is third place. So, super broken as hell. Storm Trance, I see it every day. Every day I see at least 1 or 2 people every other game, every few games. So it's used. It's not used by many, but it's used. And it's a really good super. That's the funny thing, is because not only can you combo it with, Blink, you can teleport around and double teleport because of it. Because, you can blink with this and you can blink with this. Broken as hell. Fucking ridiculously broken as hell. It's so broken, in fact, it's mind-boggling. So now we have all these supers that are very fucking good and useful. and you see on a daily basis in PvE and PvP without any issues. You've got the most overpowered nades in the game for the most part, other than one. You got melees, which we didn't even talk about melees yet. Let's talk about melees. Arcane Needle is such a cracked melee. It not only causes flinch, it causes the little nanites to come out, it causes your ability just as a whole to get screwed. You just get fucked when this thing hits you. Because not only do you get fucked, you get fucked. I know it's like, what? But trust me, this thing fucking nukes. The fact less people use this... Oh, wait, no, that's right. Less people don't use it. They use it with this constantly. So they get 3 of these bad boys. After a couple rounds of trials, they can teleport for 2 rounds in a row, 3 rounds in a row, and get you. If they run max strength, they can get it back constantly. Oh, yeah, that's fucking nice. Thanks, Bungie. And they're going to buff that, too. Then we have Chain Lightning, which is a meme. Nobody really uses this. I'll admit, nobody really uses this trash. Incinerator Snap, PvE and PvP, you see it. It's not used a lot in PvP, but it is used as well a lot in PvP. It's really weird. It depends on the skill. There's a certain skill level where you see it here and there, and then there's a higher skill level. All they do is use it. It's fucking crazy, but it's true. Then you have Pocket Singularity, which is one of the best melees in the game, because not only does it push you away, it makes you volatile, which allows you to explode and chain it to other people, which causes them to be volatile and explode. I think it's a constant nightmare to fucking deal with, because they just throw it around a corner. And not to mention, its tracking is fucking ridiculous. They miss completely. Don't worry. If you miss, it's still gonna fucking hit. And then we have the Freeze melee. Such a stupid fucking melee that... It's okay for hunters, or for warlocks, but it's not okay for anyone else. Like Bungie, what? This thing insta freezes you just by throwing a melee, and it's got great fucking range too. It's not 1 meter range. It's got like 13, 14 meters of range or more. It's ridiculous. You can map people with this shit. It's fucking scary. So as a whole, the verdict is Warlock and Titan's broken. Oh, we haven't even talked about this. Hold up, we haven't even talked about this yet. Freezing Singularity. This thing is a massive grenade that sucks you in, slows you after it sucks you in, and explodes, suppressing you. If you don't die to the explode, which most likely you will, you'll get suppressed and you can't do anything but stand there and die. So not only do you get slowed, which fucks you, you get fucking sucked in, that then gives you slow, and then you get suppressed when it explodes if you survive, which most of the time you're not going to. Because somebody's waiting to shoot you at that point, so there's no point. It's death. It's fucking death grenade. Again, great grenade. Absolute cracked. This thing is such a pain to deal with when you have good players that know how to use it. It's fucking scary as hell to deal with, because even if you're a good player, it's hard to deal with. I've seen it plenty of time. Good player versus good players, they get their asses handed to them still when people pop this damn thing, because this thing is fucking hard to deal with. If it's thrown directly on you, you're not escaping. It's constantly adding slow, it's constantly fucking doing damage to you, and it's constantly fucking a pain. It's so dumb. So as a whole, Warlock and Titan both have the best kits ever for PvE and PvP. It's got combos upon combos. And then you go over to the fucking Hunter, and you get the worst fucking shit ever. Like, Bungie, you're buffing shit for the Warlock. This is what's great. They're buffing stuff for the Warlock and Titan next season. They're buffing all the stuff that's already meta. They're buffing because Hunters are played more. The reason Hunters are the most played is because they have the easiest movement. Compared to a Titan and a Warlock, the movement is a lot more iffy. Okay, it's a lot different. It's a lot harder to get a grip on. It's a pain in the ass. I hate Titan movement. I hate Warlock movement with a passion. I love Hunter movement. It's simple. It's easy. Hunters also look really nice. I know people say, oh no, Titan's Warlock's the best, but you say that, but yet the Hunter class are the ones that always have the best armor for the most part. So, mind you, a lot of the armor sucks. It's the color schemes that usually are decent, but more Hunters, they like fashion. Personally, I think a lot of them look like shit, but a lot of people seem to like the way Hunters look for armor and stuff. So they make crazy builds, crazy looks, and a lot of them I think are trash personally, but that's my opinion. So yeah. So the verdict is here. We've got a total of 3 things maybe aspect-wise for PvP and PvE. Because this is a joke. This is a joke. Nobody uses them. It's a joke. People don't use them. And I know people are being in the comments saying, oh, I use it all the time. I guarantee you don't. Okay? Because it's so rare to see someone in PvE using this. It's so fucking rare. You can do 1,000 strikes and won't see one person use it. So if you do use it, good for you. I'm glad you do. It's useful. It has its uses. It's just not practical because it's better to use other things constantly. This fucks with shit. It messes with things and it's fucking trash because of it. This thing is really only a PvE or PvP thing. PvE, it's kind of a joke. It's not really that great. I mean, you can make a use out of it, but why waste your time when you can just build better builds on the melee itself, on the void itself? There's a lot better builds, so why waste your time? Then you have this thing, which is a joke. PvE and PvP wise, it's a joke. And lower end content PvE, yeah, you might be able to make use for it. But if you're doing medium and hard end content, you shouldn't be that close to an ad to even pop this on them, because it's not going to kill them. It's going to take a quarter of their health to half their health, maybe 3/4 on the lower medium tier stuff. But that's it. It's not going to kill. Not unless you already injure, and it's only going to kill a couple, so it's pointless. It only gives jolt to those enemies. It doesn't give jolt to anyone else in chain, so trash. We've got slow, which absolutely does nothing in PvE. Again, if you're that close to ads on medium and hard stuff, you're dumb. You're going to end up dead. And then on, easy stuff, fuck it, whatever. Do it if you want. But again, not practical. Practicality in sites that's good for positive, low end, and high end. It's not. So that's how practicality is measured in this game. So you only really have Threat Inspector, which is decent for PvE, because you can dodge and get the ads to focus it and leave you be if you're weak or something. So even higher end content has its use because of that. It's not the greatest, but it has its use. So you really only have these two options as a whole for PvP and PvE. You might be able to use this in PvP. Well, you can, but it's not that great in my opinion compared to what these are. These are a lot better, I think. So it's like you wonder why these were the most used things. This and this is because that's all there is for PvP and PvE. There's nothing really that great. Yeah, you can build builds of this, but it's not worth it in higher end content. Stupid, so no point. Same thing here. It's not really worth your time. It fucks with the other settings and stuff, the other cooldowns and shit. It's not that great. I know people say they use it, but I've never 1,000 games of fucking PvE, and I have not seen more than like 3 people use this shit. And that's not 1,000 in one fucking overall. That's 1,000 in a season plus. Like, I don't like PvE, but I do a lot to get stuff done because there are stuff to collect and stuff. And I never see this thing. It's a joke. It is never seen. People don't use it. It's a joke. And then the grenades, we only got this grenade for PvE as well, because this is a joke. This is okay-ish, I guess, but still a joke. This could be useful in PvE, but not really useful in PvP anymore, unless you use the exotic. It's kind of iffy. This, again, can be useful in PvP, but I feel like it's better if you just use the other version of it, which is on Strand itself, so trash. The melees, as a whole, only 3 of them are worth a shit. The other 2 are meh. Low-end content, but anything high-end, trash. This maybe will work to make a freeze build, but that's about it, which again, just go use freeze yourself if you want to use a freeze build, because you'll create way more freeze, way more abilities regen, way more everything. It's pointless. The best thing here is that you got this thing. Oh wait, this thing is pretty much useless other than raid bosses. You can use it there to help radiate to everyone, but even then, not really useful. When you've got this reloads, or this that gives you your ability back, so it's just kind of more useful. And this is only useful in the lower end stuff, especially with the nerf coming. This will no longer be useful in higher end stuff, which sucks automatically. Thanks, Bungie. This has always been okay for PvE and PvP, but This thing can be useful for PvP, or PvE, sorry, but it's mostly PvP, which again, like I said, it's easy to dodge, so it's not really that great, unless somebody just has space, magic, connection, or gods here. Then you have this, which is good, but again, I'd rather have the normal Silk Strike that comes with Strand, way better. Tether's a joke in everything now, like I said, it's just not that great. Tether still can work in PvE, but it's not really used. Nobody really uses it for PvE, because there's so many better options from weapons and stuff, and you want a damage super to kill higher end damage stuff and things, so that way you can use your weapons for clearing ads. It's just that simple. That's how the meta is now. It's just how it is. This, same thing. Can use it for clearing ads, but no one really does. PvP, it's okay, unless it gets stuck in a wall, which it likes to do quite a bit still, so still kind of trash. Then Golden Gun, yeah, few people use it in PvP, but as a whole, nobody uses it in PvP. It's just not that useful anymore. Everyone hears it pop, and everyone just goes and hides or baits it out and stuff. It's just not worth the time anymore. That's why people don't like it. That's why everyone gravitated towards this. So, as a whole, PvE and PvP-wise, hunters have got nothing for their kit for Prismatic. This is why nobody uses anything but the things they were using, because there's nothing else to use. And now Swim Grenades is about to get another nerf on top of the nerf they already got. So they're about to be even more trash. Our nades are trash. What are we supposed to do? I use this, like, I've been using Magnetic Grenade personally. But again, there are times it's tracking, it will literally touch somebody, just completely miss. It will literally touch their arm, miss. Touch their side, miss. Throw it directly at them, and it curves the miss on some reason. It's stupidly trash compared to what it should be. Arc Bolt, again, a joke. You mix it with fucking Jolt, it's decent, but it's still a joke. Most people won't touch this. A few higher skill players will. But overall, most people won't touch this, so it's pointless. This, same thing, better just where it is. Better on Strand than it is here. Just trash in general. So, Bungie wonders why Hunter's at the highest use of Prismatic, because there's only these items in Prismatic, because that's all there was when it was good. And we're starting already to see when Bungie announced more nerfs coming to the Hunter and all these buffs to the Titan. No joke, I usually see a ton of Hunters. I'll admit that, tons of Hunters. Holy fucking Titans and Warlocks today. There were so many Titan and Warlocks in COP, in fucking Iron Banner. In every mode, it's ridiculous because they're all preparing for the new meta switch. Hunters are about to be annihilated, which I guess is what Bungie wants. Bungie wants Titans and Warlocks to be more fabulous and more on par with Hunters. Hunters are just liked the most. I'm sorry, Bungie, but these fixes, people are still going to play Hunter. They're just not going to play as much Prismatic. A lot of people are going to get off Prismatic. Personally, I'm going to. I want to play Prismatic, but it's just not worth it. I can play the exact same stuff here and have a better setup here than I can with fucking Prismatic. That's the truth to it. I can have a lot better setup here than with Prismatic. On all of these. Like, not just that one, all of these. The Arc one, I can have a better setup. I can have a better setup on Void, fucking Stasis, fucking Gunslinger. I can have a better setup on all of them. And that's the reality we live in. Prismatic on the Hunter is a joke. That's my point. Sorry the video's got long. I know it's pretty long, and I do apologize. But I'm trying to make a point. The Titan and Warlock have some of the cracked fucking abilities in the game on Prismatic. And then the Hunters got shafted. Hard shafted. Not slightly shafted, hard shafted. And Bungie's just buffing the broken shit. Like, why are we... the best abilities in the game on the Warlock and Titan are getting more of a buff. I just don't understand the balance team in this game. They are smoking crack or something. I'm just saying, they on something. That's the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you disagree with me and think Hunters are the best because we can jump, that is what you all say. Hunters are so good because of their movement. It's unfair because they can jump up. Meanwhile, you can freeze anyone you want whenever you want with both Warlock and Titan, and you can fucking annihilate people like it's nothing. Yeah, no, don't talk shit, man. Don't talk shit. But if you do disagree, I do want to see why your reasoning is. But if all you say is Hunters can jump, then your opinion means nothing to me. So, if you actually have a good, valid point of explaining why Hunters are good, I would love to hear it. So, personally, I would love to see why people do pick Hunter over it. Because I'm pretty sure just the movement, the way it feels, is a lot better. Yeah, I agree. But it's not the broken shit. There's no broken shit here right now. Especially with all these nerfs, there's no more broken shit. So, let me know in the comments what you think. Y'all have a good day. Let's get to 400 before the end of the year for subscribers. We are, 90-something away. I lost count. I forgot. But 90-something away. So please subscribe. I'd appreciate it if you enjoy the content. You have a good day. We out.